Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, we'll be discussing whether Bournemouth can qualify for Europe this season. But before that, as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel, okay? We've recently just hit 238 subscribers and I just want to say a massive thank you for all you guys showing support on my most recent videos, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. It definitely is noticed. And yeah, let's get straight into the episode, shall we? Let's talk about Bournemouth's strong start to the season and how they're sitting 6th place in the Premier League. They've won 3 games. They've drew 2 and they've lost 1, okay? Lost 1 out of 6 games in the Premier League. One amazing start for Bournemouth, okay? They're sitting in 6th place. They could go on literally qualify for European places right now, couldn't they, in Europa League? I really do feel like their team and their manager in particular have the minerals, have the backing, have the confidence and the belief to go and do that this season. Why not? When you think about some of the teams down in there as well, in the likes of Aston Villa, Newcastle and all these other teams that, have qualified for Europe in recent seasons, they're not doing as good as they used to do, at least anyways, this season. So maybe, Bournemouth can be, hopefully, maybe Bournemouth can have an outside chance of actually, qualifying for Europe, whether that's the Europa League, whether that's the Conference League as well. When we think about some of their players, okay, in the likes of Semenyo, for me, I was thinking he might be a one-season wonder. Don't get me wrong, he definitely come off a massive season for them last season, getting goals and assists on the board. So I was thinking to myself, maybe, he might not be able to carry that form into this season, but he definitely has. Did you see that free kick he scored the other week? Honestly, it was absolutely amazing. Yes, they're coming off 2 draws, okay? I think they drew 2-2 against Leeds. They drew 0-0 with Newcastle. So from that point of view, it is quite bad from that perspective. And they want to go back to winning ways as soon as possible. But before those 2 draws, they won 3 games in a row, didn't they? They've won 3 back-to-back games after losing against Brentford in the Cup and then Liverpool 4-2 as well. So from that point of view, Bournemouth this season have been absolutely incredible. When you think about some of the players they lost, especially in defence this season, okay, in Cherries, in Huijsen, in that Ukrainian centre-back, I always forget his name, it's like Subari or something like that, went to PSG, obviously Huijsen went to Real Madrid, obviously Cherries went to Liverpool. Iraola has lost 3 out of his 4 main defenders, and they look absolutely fine, don't they? For me, I was of the thinking, Bournemouth were really going to struggle in defence mainly because they lost 3 of their 4 best players in the whole team. But again, they look absolutely fine. They look so solid defensively. They don't look like in trouble whatsoever. Diakite, that French centre-back, he is absolutely incredible. Where did they pick him up from? I think it was Lille, someone like that, from League One, wasn't it? He is amazing. He's got the pace, he's got the tackling ability, he's got the, strength and determination to get those headers and whatnot. He's decent passing with the ball as well. I do really like some of the players that they replaced them with as well. They do have an outside chance of getting Europe. For me, if we just talk about Semenyo just again quickly, he's had an amazing season last season, of course, and he's took that form into this season as well. Again, if he, scores, I want to say, another 10 to 15 goals, or if he gets double figures in goal contributions this season, I do feel like, he might be off for Bournemouth this next summer at least. I know Bournemouth fans might not particularly like me saying that, but I do feel like this might be his last season at the club. If he does go on and have an exceptional season once again, I could definitely see him playing for the likes of an Arsenal, a Tottenham, maybe like a Chelsea, because they like to buy a winger or 2, don't they? You know what I'm saying? I also think he could probably play for the likes of Man City, coming off their bench as well. He could play for anyone. He is absolutely brilliant. One of the best wingers in the Premier League for me. He's got it all: the raw pace, the dribbling ability, the ability to take on his man, to beat the defender, the ability to score goals. He could provide assists for those attackers, midfielders as well. And yeah, even those free kicks, like I mentioned early on in the video. Now, one player that's not really scoring many goals is Evanilson. For me, he's a fantastic, striker for Bournemouth. He's absolutely amazing, and he's been the perfect replacement for Dominic Solanke, hasn't he? He is his link-up play. It very much reminds me of Roberto Firmino-esque, isn't he, from Liverpool back in the day? He's so good with those 1-2 triangle passes in between the midfielders and the wingers and the strikers, whoever else is playing up front, of course. But what he struggles with is finishing his chances, finishing his dinner, scoring the goals. For me, when we think about some of the goals he scored last season, yes, he does chip in with a few goals here and there, but it's just not enough to get you over the line in those big games. Whether that's getting top 10, whether that's qualifying for Conference League, whether that's qualifying for Europa League, whether that's doing well in the cup competitions either. Because like we've seen it recently, that game against Brentford, they lost 2-0, I'm pretty sure, didn't they? So that was a bit unfortunate for them in the Carabao Cup. So from that point of view, in those big games when it really matters, he doesn't really turn up. It might be a little bit harsh to say, but I just don't know who Evanilson is that main man. For me, he's absolutely fantastic. But maybe the main man for them is, Semenyo, and that's probably where they probably will get the main goals, whether that's like, Evan Evanilson will be playing those assists, those free balls into Semenyo, into Justin Cliver, into, who else is in there, like Alex Scott and whatever else in midfield. But yeah, I really do like their team. For me, Evan Evanilson will never ever put up the likes of Solanke numbers if you think about it, because Solanke, I'm pretty sure, in his best season for Bournemouth, scored like 19 goals, didn't he, for Bournemouth a few seasons ago before he got his big money move to Tottenham. So from that point of view, I can't really see the Brazilian striker doing that. Evanilson scored 11 goals in 37 appearances across all competitions, for Bournemouth last season. So from that point of view, he's had an all right time. He got double digits. So from that point of view, he will definitely want to try and improve this season. And I don't see why he couldn't. They've got everything there to get him more goals. However, I just don't know if he's the type of striker to be, selfish enough to take those chances for himself and score the goals for the team. I feel like he's one of those players who likes to, provide the assists, whether that's for Semenyo or Justin Cliver, like I've just mentioned. So I don't really see him being like a total 20 goal season striker, total bagsman if you like, getting all the goals for that Bournemouth side. But if he can go in and score like 15 goals, that will definitely push him and Bournemouth up the table for a European spot, in the Conference League, in the European League as well, Europa League, sorry, as well. But for me, the mastermind behind this whole Bournemouth project is probably the manager, the Spanish manager, Iraola. Okay, he's absolutely amazing, isn't he? How he's transformed that Bournemouth side with his tactics is absolutely brilliant. He's built such a solid system, right, for Bournemouth now. Like they've been so competitive for the last 2 to 3 seasons, okay, haven't they? Honestly, I really do feel like now Bournemouth are competitive in every game they go into. They have the chance to win the game every single time they play 90 minutes, okay? For me, Bournemouth are so impressive, and yeah, I just want to give them some flowers really, because I really do like their team. Again, I probably was a little bit of a hater at the start of the season, thinking they wouldn't be the same team. They probably would be bottom. I think I did predict them to finish bottom half of the table just because. Oh, I think it was ninth actually. I think I predicted them to finish ninth, which isn't too bad for them, but still was a bit of a downgrade from last season compared to where they were last season, being so impressive. But again, when you think about Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, when you think about Newcastle, Aston Villa, all having not chances of qualifying for Europa League, I definitely do feel like Bournemouth probably are the best at the moment to finish in those European chances. I really do highly rate the manager. I really do feel like he might be off as well next season. If you think about, Iraola and Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace, I feel like those two are probably the most in-demand managers in the Premier League at the moment, in the likes of obviously being at a smaller club in Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, where, if the likes of a Manchester United or someone like that came in for one or two managers, I really do feel like they could definitely get that signature over the line, just because they've shown that they can go amongst the best, amongst the elite in the Premier League, and challenge with them and actually beat them. But yeah, let's end the video with some questions. How well would you feel like Bournemouth can do this season? Do you feel like Bournemouth can qualify for Europe this season? Can they get Europa League? Can they get the Conference League? How do you rate some of the players in their squad? How good is Semenyo this season? How good is the manager, Iraola, as well? Do you feel like both of those players? Do you feel like both the player and manager could potentially leave in the summer if Bournemouth finish in the top half, if they finish in a European spot as well? But before that, as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated, and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel. Okay, we've recently just hit 238 subscribers, and I just want to say a massive thank you for all the recent support on our videos. I absolutely can't believe it, to be honest. I'm truly blown away with the amount of support I've received on these videos, and I'm definitely going to keep on doing these in the future. But if you've got any future ideas for videos, put them down in the comments down below, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.